morning. I am Pauline Arami, in charge of the marketing for Limagrain Ingredient. So thank you very much to be present to our new wheat crop webinar. First of all, some details about the webinar. All the attendees are on mute, but of course you can send your question on the chat on your right. And then we will answer to the question at the end of the webinars. If we didn't have time to answer you, we will answer to you directly afterwards. And of course, the presentation will be sent to everyone at the end of the webinar. So today we are going to talk about the new wheat crop. And first, Claude Gagnol is going to present the worldwide and European cereal market review. And Claude Gagnol is the Cereal Identity Preserved Organization Director at Limagrain Ingredient. And afterwards, you will have a presentation from Sophie Chaperon, who is in charge of the R&D for Limagrain Ingredient, about wheat flour quality. So, Claude.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to share this market overview. So, as a first step, it's very important to understand that we talk about a worldwide market and worldwide context. So, it's important to notice that there are only 4 main exporters on this planet of wheat and corn, mostly. They represent 70% of the global wheat, which is traded over the year. And these are US, of course, Europe, Argentina, and Australia. So it is important to see that these these 4 countries are located in 2 different hemispheres. So the most important crop is located in Northern Hemisphere with Europe and the US and Canada. And you have the Southern Hemisphere, which is where Argentina and Australia are located. And you know that there are more or less 5-6 months difference time in between the 2 crops. So concerning the main importer, we talk about mostly 4 main group of importer. The most important is the Middle East area, Northern Africa, and then you have as well some importation in Southeast Asia, of course, with China and India. So generally speaking, we can say that Europe, China, India, and North America, they grow 70% of the global production of wheat, and they use 60% of this production. Having said that, we need to consider the key market parameters to approach the crops and to evaluate the crops. It's very important to note that the wheat and corn acreage are the key one. Because when there are some acreage reduction, so for one crop, it is impacting, of course, on the volume available at the harvest time. The yield of the crop is very important as well, and it is depending on the quality of the seeding, but then the availability of the water, for instance, especially for the corn. And we talk a lot about weather market because we are exposed to many different climate events today, and it's very difficult to predict on the long-term basis what could be the crop. You have to consider as well the ratio stock over consumption. It's a matter of quantity of wheat or corn available for export, for instance. And of course, you have to have a look to the rice production because it is an important cereals-based crop in the world, even though this crop is mostly located in Southeast Asia. Then, as matter of trading, we have to note to take care the exchange rate between the different currencies. The most important one are euro versus dollar. And we have some local currency like ruble and hryvnia from Ukraine, which are impacting as well because Russia and Ukraine are becoming major players in terms of export of cereals, mainly wheat and partially corn. Then we have to talk about weather market. Since the corn and the wheat, they are traded through the stock market exchange. It can be the CBOT at Chicago and the Euronext on the European side. And there are a lot of speculation. So the weather market is very much leading to the speculation. Then you have the political instability. We have experienced a very important step during the Arabic Spring a few years ago. But nowadays we have to look at this COVID crisis situation, because it is very much impacting the business and the trading over the planet, and the consumption, of course, and it is a new parameters, a new type of instability that we are now not discovering, because we already experienced a very bad time last few months, but it has to be considered on the day-to-day basis. And then it is impacting on the commodity market, like oil and the use of different minerals. There is still some obscure data in the market pertaining to the Chinese situation. It's still difficult to evaluate the production and the use and the stock in China, despite it is a very important user and producer on this planet. Let's talk now about the production on the worldwide scale. For the wheat, we observe a balanced situation. It's a quite stable production of wheat, around 730 million tons. So it's more or less the same as last year. So it's important to notice that this year we have a very big difference between different countries in terms of success for the crop. The world consumption is in progress, and it is reaching 713 million tons, so plus 4 million tons versus last year. But the global inventory at the end is plus 15 million tons, which giving a good ratio stock over consumption, which is 39%. So you have to consider that the major exporters, they have less wheat to offer to the market than last year. Especially in Europe, you can see that the Europe with the 27 members is showing a reduction of more than 30 million tons of wheat. In the meantime, the other producers, they are offering more or less stability, except Russia, which is expecting plus 6 million tons, and Australia plus 12 million tons versus last year. But for Australia, it's still in the fields. And so it's very difficult to predict exactly what could be the volume at the harvest time, because the harvest will be taking place in January or February next year. Considering Europe, so as you can see, we have a sharp drop in Europe at the European production level. We are having 113 million tons, so it's 30% down compared to last year. So we are losing 17 million tons. This decrease in the use of this decrease will lead to some significant, I would say, different behavior in the market. So, of course, the exportation will be decreasing to compensate the most important loss of the crop. And then we expect some decrease of the use of the wheat for animal feeding. But so far, it's not the case. The wheat feed producer are still buying a lot of wheat on the short term, which is making the market a little bit nervous. And as well, we can see that the main importer are doing a lot of importation, or they buy a lot of quantity at the moment to make sure that they have the available wheat on due time. So at the end of the year, the carryover is on the downside. We are reaching 6 million tons as carryover, which is a very few ratio stock over use, which is only 5%. So we can say that on the European level, it's a critical situation as carryover. Just to give you some highlights about the country, the situation per country. In terms of loss, we can see that French territory, which is a major player of the community, so almost 30 million tons have been lost this year versus last year. And in Germany, we lost 20 million tons. So they are the most important producer of the European, the community. So it is very important to consider that. So in France, we lost 25% of the crop. Then, if we have a look to the main area of production on the French territory, we can see that for the wheat, it's the first map, French map. You can see that in red on the west side, we have a big loss of yield. It's more or less 40%, 50% less than last year. This is due to the heavy rain during seeding time and some, I would say, drought at the springtime. So the combination of the two climate events made a very disappointing result in terms of harvest. So that is to say that if you want to source some wheat from France, you will be exposed to a different situation, whether you are on the west side or on the east side. But bear in mind that concerning the quality, for instance, it's satisfactory on the west side, but on the northeast side of France, we have a lack of proteins. So this is some more in-depth details for the French situation, so which is the illustration of my previous sets. Now let's talk about the market price. So you can see some very big volatility in the market. If you go back to March situation, of course, this is the COVID impact, the lockdown, the decision of the lockdown mid-March, especially in France, which has much affected the market. But then, by then, the wheat market has recovered quite fast, and to reach some, I would say, regular basis around 185 euro per ton. Now, since that time, we have observed some up and down situation due to some weather market or some crop prediction, and time to time, some instability due to the unpredicted situation for the COVID action plan that the government are about to put in force, especially when they talk about some lockdown, etc., and they consider some restriction. So the market is very, very volatile due to these kind of parameters, the weather market and the pandemic. So at the moment, the market is around 194, 192. Yesterday, it has reached 192 after a peak at 194.5. So this is Euronext. It is connected, of course, with the CBOT. But in Europe, the market is more nervous because of what I've already said. And if you want to acquire some quantity of wheat on the French territory, you have to pay on the top of that Euronext price what we name, I would say, a cash premium or market premium of plus 5 euro to get on the physical side the wheat. So because of the shortage of wheat on the French territory. So as a synthesis for 2020, we can talk about the bullish factor as follow: the poor harvest in the EU and especially in France, the world wheat stock, which are very difficult to mobilize in terms of trading, the good demand from the major importer at the start of the season, particularly in China, but not only. We have some retention of the wheat in the farms at the French level because of the different information I have given to you. So the farmer, they think that the market has some potential growth in terms of price-wise, and they retain the goods in the farm, in the silo, in their farm. And we can see that the world cereal complex production forecast could be done for the next crop. So you have to look after as well some other additional bullish factor, like the situation in Russia. Russia may have some difficulties on the logistical side because the main crop are in central Russia, and it's not every time easy to transport the wheat to the port to export. So you have to be careful with that. There are some world consumption increase as well, and we have some I would say traditional buyer which are still maintaining a high level of import. And of course, we have to look at particularly to the Chinese situation because it is not very clear, but we feel that the China territory is very much demanding in terms of importation for wheat or corn. Concerning the bearish factors, we can notice the strong Russian production in the central area of the country. The euro dollar, which is the euro, it's strong versus dollar, so it is limiting the export from the Western Europe side. And we have a world record grain complex. When you combine wheat and corn, for instance, it is making a lot of grain available. And you know that for the animal feeding, we can replace the wheat by the corn. And as soon as the corn crop is available, we can expect that the feed producer, the animal feeding producer, they will be back to the corn instead of the wheat. So it may create some, I would say, some price down for the wheat. And we have now good growing condition for the wheat, especially in Australia, where we expect a very nice crop. But once again, this is something that we need to, which is to be confirmed. You have to look at as well about the uncertainty around the global pandemic, because it's a very serious problem. It's difficult to predict the impact, but we have to live with it, and it's until we find a vaccine which could overcome the situation, but we are not about that. And we need to look at as well the local public governmental policy, especially in North Africa, where they aim to limit the bread wastage. And you have to consider as well that Algeria is about to open the market, their market to the Russian exporter. So far, this market was reserved to the French exporter. But now they are opening the market to the Russian exporter, which could create some market down in terms of price. So we expect as well a more competitive corn from the next crop, because at the moment there are more or less 20-25 euro difference in terms of price-wise between the wheat and the corn. So the corn is much competitive than the wheat, and we can replace the wheat by the corn very easily to make the feed product. And so we can talk as well about the next year crop, which could be better than this one, provided we get the nice seeding condition. So far, it was not the case on the Western European side, but it is improving because we have some rain to come within the next few days. So just a few words about the way we are building up the cost of the raw material to make the wheat flour. So first, you have to be aware that in France, we have different quality wheat. And we have a classification of what's different quality wheat. We have the type of BPMF. This is a wheat made for the bread making, for the French milling industry. So then we have the VRM. This is a recommended variety by the French Milling Association. And then you have the wheat improvers. It's a high protein wheat, and these wheat are expected to improve the formulation of the wheat flour afterward. So you have different as well integrated chain. One is very famous in France, it is CRC. It is, I would say, this CRC is caring about the environment and the way we are producing the wheat to reduce the impact of the cultivation in terms of pesticide use. And we have as well some local integrated chain like La Graine au Pain in our company at Limagrain side. And you have as well baby food integrated chain, and we monitor these two ones. Concerning the flour, it is the results of a formula which is taking into account different criteria. So first, you need to understand what kind of wheat you need to make the blend of the wheat to produce the wheat flour afterward. So the quality of the wheat gives a difference. Each quality of wheat has its own price level. So then you have to consider that on the market there is the Euronext reference, of course, but this year you have to put on that the cash premium to get the wheat on the physical side, and then you have some quality premium to get some specific quality wheat like the wheat improvers, and then you have the integrity chain premium to sustain the different type of cultivation to meet the consumer expectation in terms of environment preservation and pesticides residue, for instance. Then you have the storage fees to store the wheat until you use it. And of course, you have to consider the milling wheat, because it's important to notice that 20% of the wheat after milling step is going to animal feeding at a very low price. So you need to integrate that into the calculation. And then this is a less value product that could impact significantly the final cost of the wheat flour. So this is the different information I wanted to share with you. Of course, do not hesitate to send your question through the SMS or mail, and I am remaining at your disposal to answer your question. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Claude. Then I give the place to Sophie for the flour quality. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So I will give you a few information regarding the quality of the wheat. So what we can say, if we compare the quality of the wheat to last year for the French crop, is that regarding the protein levels, it's quite similar to last year. Of course, as Claude said, depending on the area. So, for example, in the west part of France, the protein level is quite high because the yield is very low. And on the contrary, on the east part of France, the protein level is decreasing. So, of course, this link between yield and protein is something that we can see if the yield decrease is due to climatic condition. If it's a decrease of yield linked to, for example, insect damage or disease, the protein level will not be affected so much. We can see also that the Agberg value is higher than last year, even if we can notice some phenomena of very early fermentation or proofing behavior during baking. There is no known issues this year. The mycotoxin have not been produced during this cultivation, but that means that there is other disease who can occur during this cultivation of French wheat, but it's affecting more the yield, as I mentioned before, than the quality of the grain. Something important to notice is that the crop has been done in dry condition. That means the grain will be with a low moisture content, and it's something good for the storage and the preservation of the grain during the coming months. And as you can see on the chart on the right, the specific weight, so you have in plain orange the value of this crop, and in H1 it's the average value for the last 5 years. And you can see that the specific weight is high. It's equivalent to last year, because last year also we have a good specific weight. The difference regarding last year is more regarding the hardness of the grain. Last year we have a very high value, and this high value leads to problematic in the milling industry in order to work on this hardness. This year the hardness is recovering very I would say, standard value, and that means that for the milling it would be better to manage, even if they have to make some modification. Regarding the baking quality, what we can see with this new crop is that for the hydration, it will be globally maintained or even increased. In fact, we can see some differences variety to variety. For example, the extensible profile wheat variety will have a lower hydration compared to the variety who give a more elastic profile. But as the flour will be a combination of these two type of profile, you should not have issue on the hydration level when you will use this flour in your mix. Consistent variety profile, that means that we can really find consistent results regarding the extensible variety or the elastic variety. It's quite equal to all the area in France. We have a fast dough development during mixing. So it's mainly linked to the fact that there is a lack of elasticity globally. And also because the hardness of the grain is different, the rate of hydration is also different during mixing, leading to this faster dough development. So regarding elasticity, what I mentioned, globally it's a decrease of this criteria and an increasing of extensibility, dough extensibility, of course depending on the variety, because some give more extensibility than others. Regarding the volume, it's globally correct, also from good to medium volume. And as for the hydration, the extensible profile variety will give lowest volume compared to elastic one. Perhaps some issue regarding oven spring. We can see that it could be a problem this year. The fact that as the volume is correct, but with an expansion that is decreasing during the baking stage. But what is interesting to notice is that the tolerance is quite good, even with this increasing of extensibility and lack of elasticity. Regarding the impact on the analytical value, we can see for example, the decreasing of elasticity. In the Alvéo graph, you will have a decrease of two values, the P on L and the elastic index. That means that we have this decreasing of elasticity, but the strength of the flour will be maintaining, and the W value will be the same than last year. On the Farino graph, we can have some differences on the dough development time, but globally the stability is good, as I mentioned, that there is no big issue regarding dough tolerance this year. The recommendation we can have is perhaps to be focused on the mixing time and to optimize this perhaps by decreasing a little, as we have a faster dough development and a lack of elasticity. Of course, the milling industry the miller will provide some flour with different wheat and will favoring the elastic one. So perhaps you will not see a lot of difference when you will use this combination of flour grades. Regarding the improving, the improver you can use or ingredients. This year we can face with a decrease of extensor, as the extensibility of the flour will be better, and also an interest of increasing a little in the improver formulation, the oxidant, like ascorbic acid, or if you are using clean label improver, it could be the acerola or the enzyme, which will favoring oven spring. Just a few words about the rest of Europe. In UK, we can mention that it's a very bad crop with a poor yield and a decrease of protein content. Contrary to France, there is a very bad nitrogen uptake. In France, the last nitrogen uptake was well converted, And in UK, in fact, the drought condition makes this nitrogen not used by the plant, the wheat. That means that perhaps also there is a possible lack of wheat from Group 1, which is the premium wheat for baking quality, due to the fact that this kind of wheat cannot achieve the level of protein needed to enter in this group. And also a point of vigilance is the AgBeg value, because there is a support of the harvest which has been done during very wet conditions. In Germany and Eastern Europe, it's a medium crop in quantity also, but with quite favorable conditions like mild winter, early summer rains, which compensate a part of the spring dryness. And regarding the quality, it's quite too early to have very precise information, but the first information we have is that there is not big issue regarding quality in Germany, especially. In Spain, it was a very good crop with a very good yield, and as Claude mentioned, it was higher volume and a specific country where there is no big issue regarding volume, and the quality is good with perhaps a lower content of protein. So thank you for your attention, and of course I can answer your question if you want.
Thank you, Sophie. We had a question about organic, so maybe for Claude. What about organic crop this year?
Okay. So regarding organic wheat situation, so far we were having some significant volume originating from Eastern country. Now in France, this integrated chain, because we talk about integrated chain, is developing. The demand as well is developing. So the farmer in France, they have decided to extend their acreage for organic product. Whatever is the crop, the wheat is the main production in terms of organic farming. This year, the acreage was expecting to please the need. So meaning that it was not forecast to import the wheat from outside France, as we were used to do in the past. And in addition to that, the French user of organic wheat, they want to have a local organic wheat with local, I would say, traceability, because the market is demanding local product. So having said that, we can say that the production was less than expected, but the acreage was much more than last year. So at the end, we have harvested more or less the same quantity of organic wheat as last year in France. So the market now is still demanding. The problem is that the organic wheat is on the high level in terms of price-wise. It's in France, it's around 550 euro export. So it's a high price. And the problem is to value the byproduct, because the byproduct from organic wheat in France, they are facing competition of the import of organic wheat from outside France to feed the cattle, and from local production to feed the cattle. So having said that, we can say the wheat flour from organic wheat is quite on the high price level in France, and it's not making the things easy for the business of the organic, even though the demand is on the upside. So concerning the quality of the organic wheat, it's a normal quality, I would say, because this year the crop has been monitored in very good condition. So we have very few mycotoxin, and the protein are normal. So no fears about the quality of the organic wheat.
And still on organic, we have another question that's about the yield. How does the yield of organic wheat compare to the conventional wheat in terms of million tons grain per hectare?
Okay, in terms of metric tons per hectare. So it is very much depending on the area where you farm the organic wheat. But generally speaking, the average yield for the organic wheat is around 3 metric tons up to 4 metric tons per hectare. And compared to the standard wheat, conventional wheat, which is around the 7 metric tons per hectare. At Lim Agro-Ingredients, we have our own production of organic wheat flour, and we have a partner to produce the organic wheat.
Thank you. I have a question for Sophie. I heard many times before an increase in the P on L, isn't it?
So regarding the P on L, it's more decreasing. We can notice, but it will be really depending of the area, because last year, in fact, we have a very high P on L, especially for all the wheat grain with a very hard, very high hardness. Because when you are making the alveograph, in fact, it's really related to the hydration. And as last year with this hardness, we have a very high hydration. We have an impact on the P value and an artificial increase of the P on L. And this year, clearly, we are recovering more normal value. So depending on the area we are comparing from last year to this year, it could be a decreasing, a clear decreasing in some area, and in other you can have a maintain or a little increasing. But what is important to follow more than the P on L, which is quite difficult to follow, it's a elastic index that is really relevant to measure the elasticity, the dough elasticity, and in that case, it's clearly a decreasing this year.
Thank you, Sophie. A final question about texturizing in other products like sauce or more liquid.
Yes, so for the moment, we don't have a lot of analytical data regarding that, but what we can see that the Agbert value, which is very high, is something that will be good for the viscosity, and especially if we speak about a native flour. But on the other side, we can face with sometimes with proofing behavior that can be very early in the process. So we have to to deeply understand if it could act on the viscosity for other applications like pastry, batters, or for sauces. That's clear that when we speak about functional flour, our processes is maintaining this viscosity is the way we are working to maintain each year the same level of hot viscosity, especially.
Thank you, Sophie. Maybe a last one, which is for Claude. How different is CRC wheat versus organic wheat?
Okay, so I would say it's totally different, because one is organic, meaning that no use of any pesticide or chemical fertilizer. For the CRC, it's a conventional cultivation, including chemical fertilizer and pesticides. But CRC is taking care about the way you use the fertilizer and the way you store the wheat and the traceability. So I would say it's a good level for the conventional wheat. And the more we go, more the future of the wheat production in France will be, I would say, close to this CRC standard. At least the CRC, it's an orientation of the general farming in France. It is giving the direction I would say, to know where we want to go in terms of cultivation improvement and the ability to meet the customer demand in terms of pesticides residue and environment preserving. But it is on the way at that step, and the goal is to develop some production of wheat in France, which could satisfy the consumer, and without having the need to go to the organic one, because organic wheat is very expensive, and not all the consumer can afford such a cost level of organic product. So we expect sooner or later to develop in France some consistent integrated chain to propose some wheat which are very low in terms of pesticide residue, and I would say absence of pesticide residue, and very preserving the environment.
Yeah, we can say, if I may, like a more sustainable conventional wheat, the CRC, but not until the organic. So thank you very much, Claude. I think we can close now the webinar. Thank you so much for to attend our webinar. If you are interested, we have also some other webinars, especially for the new maize crop, 15th of October, I think. So thank you and have a good day. Bye.